play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean?
You know what's to me? Is who pick who he be fighting. Right. Like you sit and you go, oh, I'm not going because this. I won't him, but I fuck this one. Yeah, I think I can take him. Right.
This ain't never check in to nobody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Just go to their hotel and move militant. You know what I'm saying? When you move around the city, bro, you gotta be careful. And that's just, we dealing with G-Unit.
Tony Yayo confronted J Prince and revealed what may be the largest extortion scheme in hip-hop history. 50 Cent exposed the entire scheme when J Prince attempted to pull that check-in game on him, defying J Prince to come get him. Before it became street-level serious, what had begun as mild tension suddenly erupted into a full-fledged conflict between Houston street power and Gunit's militant code. For years, this quarrel was smoldering quietly, yet we must go back to the beginning of the controversy between 50 Cent and J Prince in order to fully understand this situation. J Prince, the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, is essentially a shot caller with street certification. He is a quiet storm in Houston. Always in control and never too loud. In the city, people fear J Prince instead of merely respecting him. Not because he puts it in your face, but because his name carries that type of weight. If you were an artist if you land in Houston without checking in, you risk leaving without your chain. Even worse, that leads us to 50 Cent, the rapper who never engaged in mob games. He made a name for himself by never giving up, starting with his early feuds with Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and the rest of the Murder Inc. Circle 50. His brand, Gunit, was founded on a combative philosophy. Setting the tone early on, no kissing rings, no checking in, and most definitely no paying for security. Began speculating about the prospect of 50 moving to Houston, which was already laying the groundwork for a full-scale turf war because it would be a direct power struggle if 50 Cent arrived in Houston without checking in with J Prince. And you know what happened? Initially, their conflict was more akin to a long-distance Cold War. While J Prince held down H-Town like the unofficial mayor, they planned a party while 50 was in New York, acting as his typical mastermind for trolling. Jabs here and there, but they never invaded each other's territory until 50 quietly revealed something shocking on Twitter. Although I currently reside in Houston, I adore New York. I'll elaborate later. For lack of clout, 50 didn't relocate. He had enormous ideas. His business was being destroyed by New York taxes, so Houston made financial sense. More space, fewer taxes, and a burgeoning hip-hop scene ready for growth. Houston's liquor industry was flourishing, and Branson Cognac wanted a foothold in the South. He experienced a vision, used the culture to promote his brand and bring entertainment, revenue back to the community, but the issue was that he neglected to check in. J Prince took exception to that. He claimed to have thought that 50 was attempting to be king without actually kissing the ring. People started applying pressure after hearing about J Prince on the street. Some even claimed that he attempted to obtain $50 to cover the cost of street-level security.
You know what's to me? Is who pick who he be fighting. Right. Like you sit and you go, oh, I'm not going because this. I won't him, but yeah, I think I can take him. Right. You want to fight the you think?
Oh, he wasn't interested in any of that. He informed his guys that G-Unit moves with their own protection and that they wouldn't be extorted out of respect. Things quickly got out of hand. According to reports, J Prince attempted to declare a no-fly zone above Houston for 50, stating, in essence, "You're not welcome here." Let's face it, that affects smaller artists. However, 50, he used Instagram to harass J Prince, like a WWE promotional video. Memes with dubious captions and subliminal images show everyone that he wasn't playing mob games. He clowned the entire thing. J Prince was directly challenged by 50 to initiate contact. Things were becoming disorganized behind the scenes. 50 had been constructing a $20 million Gunit film and television studio in Houston, which would have generated employment, internships, and excitement in the community. However, the project was abruptly redirected to Shreveport, Louisiana.
I got up there, they showed me a lot of love. But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here, like even the taxes and was put. Well, yeah.
And so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's healed because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal. Yes. Way more. They can't see that down.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway, in the same building that they're saying was a cheap building.
Right.
So find somebody else to spend 20.
Although 50 claimed that the infrastructure was superior there, if you're paying attention, you already know the truth. Houston's street politics were becoming too heated. Furthermore, 50 had no intention of dancing with snakes. At this point, the situation became poetry. Houston didn't agree with Jay Prince's attempt to force 50 out. Houston wasn't just putting up with him. They were honoring him in 2022, a year after his first touchdown. The mayor of Houston, 50 Cent, received a real key to the city from Sylvester Turner, who also proclaimed November 24th to be 50 Cent Day. At the annual Thanksgiving Day parade, 50 was treated like a hometown hero. Turner referred to 50 as an entrepreneur and humanitarian, and commended him for helping high school students through his Junity program. 50 was standing on that float like he was born and raised in the H, and the crowd went crazy.
He came to the city of Houston, but he didn't just come here to live. He has been helping out on so many causes in this city. And especially, he has been in our high schools, turning our high school students into entrepreneurs with his Unity Campus program. I've seen him firsthand. This city has been elevated because of his presence. And so today, we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson. Now, before I call on him to speak, let me present you first a key to the city of Houston. Anywhere you go, 550 buildings, use the key, the door will swing wide open.
However, that's not all. Through his Junity Foundation 50, he began making significant contributions to the community by organizing school donations and toy drives in Turkey. Through his Sire Spirits business, he even collaborated with the Houston Rockets, Texans, and Astros. He gave $850,000 worth of toys in 2023. He contributed to the Houston Children's Charity's $500,000 fundraising in 2024. For example, the individual entered and began raising actual numbers, and in 2024 he assisted in raising $500,000. He auctioned off 2 enormous bottles of his La Chandura champagne to raise money for the Houston Children's Charity. Additionally, the entire event brought in $6 million. Jay Prince, meanwhile, was purportedly watching everything unfold like a deposed monarch. The man who once controlled the city from the shadows now had to witness another person's celebration. In the middle of the day, here comes Tony Yayo, the most vocal member of Gunit. You eventually explained why they never played the check-in game in a Vlad TV interview. Interview 8. 8.42, he asserts that Gunit moved militantly for a purpose. Interview 8. 47.940, he received some guidance for those in their 50s.
It's like the Fed's not playing. All around the board. New York City, we used to the federal indictments, but now you see them, they doing it in Atlanta, state indictments, they doing it in LA. But yo, bro, you gotta think about it. People travel to LA, they wanna be in LA to be comfortable. A lot of them houses getting ran in, robbed, can't go to this place to go to go eat without getting a rodeo. When you see people getting robbed on rodeo, yeah. Oh, you know the
entire check-in process is merely a cunning tactic to arrange for extortion from artists. You must pay up when you check in or risk being robbed.
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, is they seem to get hung up on that word, checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get.
Jay Prince's entire reputation was based on the notion that he was defending Houston-based artists. He established this phony, amiable system known as checking in and anointed himself king of H-Town.
Stuck on stupid, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck on stupid and you're not using your power or access to powers that you have, you're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. You know, we all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a blessing, really.
It seems innocent until you discover that it's actually a glorified extortion racket. The guidelines. It is expected of artists visiting Houston to get in touch with JPRs. Show them respect, and by that we mean to run their pockets. It's supposed to keep you safe and ensure that your chain returns if it disappears. But if you don't, check in, things become chaotic. As a warning, Yayo mentioned Pop Mock's passing. Artists become targets when they fail to adequately protect themselves or rely on street relationships. Yayo made it apparent that there are restrictions on street protection and that no one is truly available to help if things go down. He even threatened to call the FBI in because of all these connections to gangsters and mobs. As if the 90s always weren't Rico, accusations come up when discussing extortion at the mafia level and artists being set up. Yayo stated unequivocally that they weren't engaging in those games. Gunit would rather remain independent and risky than repay shady street men for favors. NBA, this is where things turn ugly. When a young boy arrived in Houston on business and refused to check in, his spot was hit. Cash stolen, car keys stolen, chains gone.
Don't turn me down. What you said? Don't turn me down. What you on, folks? Don't turn you down. Yeah, man, what you on, folks? What you mean what I'm on? What you on, man? What the deal? What up? What up? You want to buy your shit back or what? You ain't get you flunked out ass little nigga. I'm trying to see where you at. You dumb mother. What you got, $20 out of car? Nah, nigga, you know what we got, nigga. Stop that cap.
Man,
crazy as a motherfucker. Nigga, capping, bro. They gonna believe anything you want me to start my car? I just took a picture in the same car today with my little boy. You on this.
J. Prince appears on Instagram out of nowhere, claiming to have recovered the stolen items. But rather than giving the young child a private call, he uploaded a video.
I got a call, you know what I mean, because the little homie young boy place got broke into. People went in his place, disrespected different things, and you know, I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, you know what I mean, young boy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce, I got your keys to your McLaren, you know, all that shit that they took, and the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
You got your Rolls Royce umbrellas, you got your keys, you got a bunch of other shit.
B gave a firm clapback. He claimed that if Prince truly wanted to assist, he wouldn't be acting like a 60-year-old clout seeker on Instagram.
Hey, I don't no friends, I don't no new relationships. All that, hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty around me you could call. Man, nigga, it's plenty ways you can get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Man,
Mace and Cameron also stepped in. Jay Prince is being dragged for continuing to behave like he controls the WARNS streets. Real OGs uplift, not extort, they remarked.
You're dealing with older people. They're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little niggas. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected niggas in the streets. That's why I always got the problem.
Additionally, you've failed if you're still playing mob boss in your 60s. Jay Prince's second favorite pastime after intimidation is playing dice games. In Houston, these high-stakes matches are renowned. Not for the reasons you believe, but for years there have been rumors that they are set up to trap artists. And Takeoff is the most tragic example. We all recall how after one of these dice, games degenerated into a firefight. Takeoff lost his life. However, speculations indicate that what actually happened wasn't random. According to sources, Jay Prince reportedly urged his crew to give them a lesson because he was upset after takeoff, and Quo failed to check in correctly. It was intended to be a minor one, a slight fright, but it ended up being fatal. After takeoff, was killed. Jay Prince skillfully evaded responsibility.
Nothing should have happened. What do you say to that?
What I would say to that is, I have a track record, man, and the Prince family have a track record of 30 plus years of, honoring and loving on our guests and being with our guests, and no shit like this never happened. But here's the thing, and this is what people don't understand. We ain't never had nobody to attack us. You know what I mean? When a man attacks a situation with a weapon, then, it become a playing field where, any and everything.
Attempts to minimize everything and dodges mumbles whenever someone. He essentially acknowledged that he had deleted the evidence.
When Mike and Junior was walking by, he actually went in the restroom to wash blood off his hand where he had reached up on the takeoff. He had to pick him up, and his fingers went in it. Blood.
Prize. Takeoff wasn't the only casualty. After winning $100,000 in a dice game, Duke the jeweler recalls him thinking he had the best night of his life. However, he was ambushed, robbed, and sadly killed before he could reach his car. Suddenly, another gifted black man exposed game rigging and a corrupt code of honor. Therefore, when you combine this with 50 Cent building community centers, and there is no argument over who is contributing more to Houston in terms of feeding families. One is creating a legacy, while the other is reportedly gathering evidence, while maintaining the streets in a chokehold using antiquated fear tactics and 50s trolling. Rumor has it that he is speaking with folks behind the scenes to obtain evidence that the check-in system is a complete extortion scheme. He has hinted that the federal government may become involved, and if so, it will be game over 50. Is capable of playing chess, he is not a bluffer. Although he is now making memes, he may be preparing a lawsuit or archiving receipts for the eventual takedown. Jay Prince's entire run may be ended with one post, one leak, and one Fed tip. The streets belong to one man, the city to another, but only one is winning the war. 50 Cent didn't simply relocate to Houston. He grabbed control of the city when Jay Prince was supposedly attempting to force musicians out. 50 pulled up, was praised by the mayor, and constructed initiatives that genuinely benefited the public. Additionally, the entire check-in industry may be nearing the end of its life. Who actually runs then? Tell us if you think Houston is the man with the city's key or the street leader lurking in the shadows. Is 50 going too far? Or is he the hero we didn't realize we needed to call attention to the worst aspects of hip-hop politics? Stay put, because things will only get uglier. In our next